Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing out and reviewing, by popular demand. I have been getting asked about this new concealer for the last few weeks, and I'm talking about the Tower 28 Serum Corrector. Now these retail for $22 US, and you can find them in 20 different shades. I have two of the shades that I will be swatching for you guys, and one of which I will be using, or both, just depending on what the shades look like after I've swatched them. Now this is a medium buildable formula, and it is also non-comedogenic, so you don't have to worry about this clogging up any pores. You can use it on hyperpigmentation, dark circles, redness, any kind of discoloration all over the face. The details also describe the formula as being weightless, easy to blend, and it's supposed to have a skin-like finish. It's vegan, gluten-free, cruelty-free, and comes in recyclable packaging, as well as alcohol-free and fragrance-free, which I know is important. It is important, especially for us with sensitive noses. Depending on the product, depending on the fragrance, it can literally give me a headache, so I get it. Now the way that we're going to wear this concealer today is with and without a color corrector placed underneath it to get a good idea of just how much coverage this truly will provide by itself and with the help of a color corrector. Now the color corrector that I'm going to be using alongside this concealer today is going to be my Sigma Spectrum Color Correcting Duo in the shade Medium to Deep. As you can see, I've hit pan on both sides. I like it. I really like this corrector. But before we get started with color correcting, let's go ahead and swatch these. Now the two shades that I have are 8.0, which is a medium shade with peach undertones, and 7.0, which is a medium shade with neutral undertones. When it comes to peach undertones, some brands are really super peach, like the House Labs one. I feel like that one was really peach, and although I like it because it helps to conceal the dark circles a little bit better, sometimes it can be a little too much. Or if you get like a neutral undertone, depending on the brand, they might even be a little bit more yellow than neutral. You just never know with the brand until you get it and you actually swatch it on yourself. Like for instance, these are the two swatches that I have. This is 8.0, which is supposed to have a peach undertone, and this is 7.0, which is supposed to have a neutral undertone. And this is a perfect example. So this is the House Labs concealer from my previous review. This one is in the shade Light Medium Peach, okay? And here are the two peach undertones side by side from different brands. This one's the Tower 28, and this is the House Labs. So you see what I mean? It's just, it depends. It depends on the brand. So based on the swatches, I am absolutely going to go with 8.0. So I'm just taking a little bit of both sides of my color corrector. And again, we are only going to be applying it to the right side, not to the left. Next, I'm going to jump off camera to apply foundation onto the entire face before coming back to conceal. All right, I'm back. Foundation is on. Let's continue with concealer. And again, I'm using shade 8.0. So just applying a little bit of that right there. I'm going to be blending it out using my Sephora number 71 brush. This is their Pro Concealer brush. All right, so there is one layer of concealer. Even with the corrector, yeah, sure, I would say this is medium coverage for me with the corrector and the one layer of concealer. It's very lightweight though. I don't feel it heavy underneath the eyes at all. I barely feel it underneath the eyes. It does feel quite hydrating, very much so. Let's go in with another layer. So just adding a little bit more right there and going back in to blend it out only around this particular area that I feel needs it. So it does blend out really nicely, and it does layer really nicely as well. All right, let's go over to the left side. I mean, look at the difference. It really is concealing very, very well. All right, now with just the one layer, I would call this light medium on dark circles. You know, like a light medium coverage. Blends out really, really nicely, and it does look very nice and light underneath the eye. Now let's go ahead and build it up and blend it out. Look at that. It does conceal really well all on its own. Now, will it stay like this? Who knows? But it does look a bit brighter underneath my left eye than it does on my right eye. All right, so initial thoughts. I like it. It is providing a nice level of coverage. However, it does feel rather sticky, and personally, I don't love that, especially not underneath the eyes. I always feel like when the under eye area feels like excessively hydrated or excessively sticky, it always moves around or settles into my fine lines. So I'm gonna give this a few minutes to sit and just get comfortable underneath my eyes, and then determine whether or not to set it. So let me give this about 3-4 minutes, and I'll be right back. All right, it's been a good 4 minutes at this point, maybe even 5, and it is definitely settling into fine lines. So we're gonna set it. And I'm gonna set it with my Oma Beauty Trip and Smooth setting powder. You guys already know, in the shade Translucent, which looks like this. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and get rid of this first. And now the right. All right, so although I did pick the peach undertone one, it's just looking a little bit more on the yellow side, which I'm fine with. We're getting pretty decent coverage. I would definitely say high medium for sure, if not full, just depending on what you have going on underneath the eyes or around the face. If it's not too deep or too severe, then yes, definitely high medium coverage out of 2 layers. But if it's really severe, I would say maybe medium coverage, depending on how many layers you apply, because 1 might just be too sheer. So now that we're done with that, I'm going to zoom you guys in so that you can get a good look underneath the eyes after initially applying it and setting it. Personally, I feel like it looks pretty nice and pretty smooth for the most part. Not completely concealed, of course. I can still see my dark circles peeking through right here and right here, but it's looking pretty good. Let me zoom you in. All right, so here we are. This is the side that we color corrected, and this is the side that we did not. Personally, I feel like I'm getting very similar amounts of coverage underneath both eyes. All right, so I'm gonna jump off one last time, finish the rest of my makeup, and be right back. All right, I am back. Makeup is on, and I am ready to continue on with the day. It's so transformative underneath the eyes, especially after I put everything on, because now looking at myself, yeah, it still looks like we're missing just a little bit of coverage. Like we could use a little bit more coverage underneath the eyes, but it doesn't look bad. It still looks really nice. It looks pretty smooth, and both under eye areas are really getting a very similar amount of coverage. They look practically the same, but we'll see how it wears. It is currently 1:04 in the afternoon. I do plan on wearing this per usual all day long, a good 8 hours. And of course, I'll be back halfway through the day to show you guys some close-ups under natural lighting, to talk to you a little bit about how the concealer is looking and wearing up to that point. I will see you back here in a few hours for a quick midday check-in. All right, I am back for a quick midday check-in. It is currently, what time is it? 5:11. So I've had this on now for a solid 4 hours. This is the situation underneath the eyes. This is the side with the color corrector underneath. And this is the side without. Coverage-wise, we're not there, but we weren't this morning either. However, the concealer isn't breaking up. It's staying put. I don't feel like it has worn off. It still feels very, very lightweight. Like still feels really lightweight, not heavy whatsoever. And I feel like it still looks pretty good, right? What do you guys think? Overall, I'm still happy with it. I'll continue to wear it for another 4 hours to give it a full day before calling it done. And we'll see where we're at that point in time. So I'll see you back here in a few more hours for my final check-in with this concealer. All right, I am finally back for my end of day check-in. It is currently 9:25 and I am tired. So before I get into what I think about this concealer after wearing it for an entire day, I am going to zoom you guys in one last time so that you can get a good close-up look underneath the eyes. All right, so here we are. As a reminder, this is the side that we color corrected, and this is the side that we did not color correct. All right, so now we can get into what I think or how I feel about this concealer after wearing it all day. I like it. I would love it if we would get a little bit more coverage with this, just, slightly more coverage. I would absolutely love it, just simply because of how it wore with and without a corrector. I feel like I got very similar coverage. The concealer stayed in place. It did not wear off. It did not break up. It didn't move around. And I don't feel like the under eye area looks excessively dry in any way, at least not in my opinion. I've had concealers look 20, 30, 100 times worse than this. This is just very minimal, if anything, as far as dryness. It looks really nice up close. It looks really good under natural lighting, in natural lighting, like directly under the sun, directly like outdoors. It just looks really nice and light. The only thing is that you're not going to get as much coverage with this as you may perhaps want, especially if you're trying to conceal, significant hyperpigmentation or dark circles, that kind of thing. I think that perhaps this is not going to be like that high coverage that you would like. Personally, I think with one layer, it's the light medium on dark circles, at least if you have the darkness that I do underneath the eyes. Light medium, if you add another layer, it would be medium, high medium, just depending on your under eye situation. But I like it. So you don't get a lot of coverage. Don't go into this concealer thinking that this is just going to look great and it's going to conceal everything, because I don't think that that's the case. I mean, even with a corrector, I was still able to see like the darkness peeking through. However, that being said, similar amounts of coverage. So I was really surprised by that. I'm surprised by the way that it looks and how light it feels. It truly is very, very lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy whatsoever. It doesn't feel dry, even though I said it. I don't really have very many complaints at all. I don't have any complaints, rather. Just one, the coverage. I just wish it had more coverage, but it's a really nice concealer, especially for like an everyday work, school, errands type of thing. Very lightweight, very natural looking, very comfortable to wear. So overall, I'd say my purchase is a win. I'll continue to wear it, especially on like my no makeup days, my no makeup days, or my light makeup days, because it's a really nice formula. And yeah, not bad at all, Tower 28. So that completes today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's product review and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future videos. And also don't forget to like, comment, and share, as it goes a long way here on YouTube. It helps to support the channel, and I appreciate you all so much for doing any of those three things. And also for watching. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. As always, take care, and I'll see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.